Hello everyone and welcome to our I Pick My Butt video. More Archero and chapter 31. We have it here completed. We've actually been sitting on this for maybe about a week now. We just flew through all those chapters, but don't worry, chapter 32 is going to take me a little bit. I'm hoping that this new altar is going to increase my attack a whole bunch so I can blast through that. But as you saw in the beginning there, about 23,000 attack, and I was technically, I wouldn't say re-rolling, but I had to go into this. If I didn't get a good first ability, I was just wasting the energy until I grabbed diagonal arrows, ricochet, or like a multi-shot. But as you can see, we do have diagonal arrows here, and probably the hardest thing about this board is gonna be those ice golems there and the laser bats that go in combination with them. The laser bats just seem to kind of shoot so frequently, and then those ice golems, man, those little white snowballs just overcrowd the screen. Now I do try to kind of focus and build up on one side of the map here, so you can see we're hanging out by the top and just really trying to dodge those snowballs. They can be a little bit hard to see at times. Luckily with the blue background, I think actually those little ice mages there, those might be a little bit more difficult to see, but they really don't seem to be too much of a problem. And I will say in this that I honestly think that Guju is invincible. You will see this when we go up against the stage 10 boss of it just seems like we're getting hit over and over and just not taking any damage. So if you haven't tried Guju yet, you really got to give him a shot if you are taking non-stop hits in the game. And if you're asking yourself, why am I using the staff instead of the Demon Blade? Well, the Demon Blade is only a level 60, still a perfect epic, where the staff is a mythic, and I think we got up to like level 92. We're going to pump some more into that, but I think I got to throw some into Guju before I start doing that. But overall, I just don't really seem to be cutting it with the Demon Blade too well. I am getting more attack out of this, and especially with the diagonal arrows, I mean, come on, you know how the staff is. It's OP when you have that situation, and it really seems to be helping me out with these later chapters. Speaking of later chapters, I finally got my golden chest plate to mythic, so we're going to be ditching the bright robe pretty soon here, seeing how it goes with that golden chest plate, see if it is actually performing what people claim it is. I'm excited about it, and I'm hoping to get my coins back by taking my phantom cloak to mythic so I can just bring that back down level 1, because to be honest, I don't really see myself doing anything with that phantom cloak again. But the other thing to keep in mind too is we are going one line, one bowl. It would be nice to go 2 bowls on this, but I only have 1 at mythic and I really don't have another 1 leveled up yet, so that's why we're just using the line at mythic to get that extra attack, and hopefully it'll help us out on some of the bosses. Now we did pop the alt there too, just because it seemed like I was having a hard time killing them. We just grabbed attack because we need that. We are going to grab the bloodthirst here, which is a huge help. And you might be questioning this here. I chose the smart over the rage, and the reason behind that is we really are stacking up a good amount of levels inside the game going through. Even though it's a wave and it's only 20, you saw there we just were able to grab 3 abilities. So my thought process was I grab the smart, we'll get more abilities out of it, and that will give me better chances of getting things like the multi-shot, more diagonals, and you know, all the good stuff that we're trying to get. Now, I was thinking about making some good, you know, kind of rhymes in this that didn't actually rhyme, like, you know, if you don't use cover, it's over, which I don't know why I was thinking about that, but just what goes in the mind of I pick my butt when I'm making these videos. But as you can see, we are using some cover there. We are keeping the distance. These bats, you know, bats are one of those things that they're never really a threat until they hit you. So we're just trying to keep on moving on this. Eventually, there is the those teleporting assassins. That's something that I'm really going to be kind of stuck moving around the screen, but you can see we're really squashing the corner here with those bats. So I'm really just trying to focus just on the little like square or 2 ahead of me to know where those snowballs are and watch out for those lasers. But I think the lasers do end up getting me. As you can see, the bats are getting me, and realistically, it's tough. I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling on this. I was so surprised when I did actually beat this, and then I went right at 32 and realized, okay, yep, we're gonna be here for a minute or so. But I would say if you can go into your monster book, you know, throw the ice golem on if you have it at a high level there. It'd be a great kind of little 5% reduction or whatever it is for going up against those guys. It's nothing too crazy I'm doing. I typically do this a lot where I'm just on the bottom of the screen and just kind of bounce back and forth, left to right. Now that I feel like it's a little bit safe, we'll get closer in it and just kind of kill these last couple of guys. Now, leads me to the next thing. I know everybody's big on the Giants contract, and I am a huge fan of Arcane Archer. which you'll see in a second there. Well, we can just get Ricochet. We're going to grab the Dark Touch here because, once again, these mobs really stack up. So having that Dark Touch will help out. And there's a multi-shot. But Arcane Archer, you're going to see here, we're going to pop in and just pop it. It's going to be a Rock Golem. And just look how fast. This guy's just going, wasted down. God, I love this staff. I forgot how much I actually enjoy it, using the Demon Blade all the time. Still love the Demon Blade, but it feels so nice to just have the staff again. Now, I did skip out on the attack speed there because it didn't really seem to make sense because I am kind of stutter stepping. At times, I will grab it. And if I'm thinking right, you might start hearing some text messages kind of dinging in here. I think I ticked my wife off when I was making this video. I was playing games in the other room. She wanted me to come hang out. But fun little tip for you, or a little fact here about the iPICKmyBUTT channel. I used to have it where my text messages would pop down like the notification on the top. Occasionally you'll still see them come through for YouTube, you know, somebody commenting on there. But I used to do that with the text messages. And if you ever go back and watch my Rebel Inc. videos, my wife, I think she was on fertility medicine at the time, she was always getting ticked off at me. So you'd see some really interesting messages just popping down when I was making those videos. People would comment on when they would see them. So if you're bored, watch some of the Rebel Inc. ones and see if you can find any of those good little gems there. And if you do, post them on the Discord because I always get a crack up when I see them there. But as you can see, there's our assassins kind of sneaking up on us, and I didn't really know about them until I got to that point. So that was kind of like, now I know they're there. Now I know I'm going to need to make some bigger moves, or if I see them come up underneath me, I'm going to make those, 2 or 3 tile stretches. So we kill these couple of last guys here. You can see how the Bloodthirst just filled us right up. Well, that's the other thing too. You're going to have the little blowfish octopus guys. Now here, I didn't really like what I saw, and I said, you know what, just to be safe, we're going to grab some HP boost. The Wingman, another great thing to have with those ice guys around. Obviously, we're full health, so we'll grab the attack there and then go into the next one. Now, this kind of setup is a little bit more of a pain for me. I hate it when they throw, like, down in the corner there, where it kind of, like, leaves you in a little bit of a trap. We did just pop the alt here. Pretty much on these wave boards, if you pop an alt right at the beginning, you're going to be able to just kind of fill it up before you go into the next stage. So keep that in mind. As far as those blowfish, though, they're scary to some extent, but as long as you're moving, I mean, they're just targeting the last spot that you were standing in, so I wouldn't really worry too much. And they really don't have a good distance on the throw. I can't imagine what it's going to be like for hero mode going up against these guys. I don't plan on playing hero mode 32 or 31 anytime soon, so I'm going to just forget I even made that statement there. But you can see we are using the cover once again to kind of save ourselves. I still have in the fear the fact of those assassins that just popped up again. They really can be a pain. I mean, if you're not paying attention and you are just kind of going back and forth, they can go in, especially 2 or 3 of them, because they kind of do that swirl up on you and then they lunge at you. So if you don't get away fast enough, they can strike you, and it could be a good amount of hits. Like I said about Guju being invincible, I think a lot of my owls there, I almost called them bats for a second, I think they're tanking a lot of the damage too, so that's kind of saving me. But realistically, I mean, with the setup we have right now of Wingman, we've got Multi, we've got Diag, and we got some attack boost, these guys are dropping pretty good as long as we can kind of get the staff to go, around and hit them. You can see here, I wanted to play it safe for a second, so I'm just like, hey, I'll let these things hit the barrier, and once I feel comfortable enough, we'll kind of move in. Now, those little rocks there, those are difficult to see. Those I have a hard time with, and occasionally I will get hit from those. Surprisingly, though, it's usually the snowballs that get me, even though they are easier to see. They're just so much bigger, and they just come out and just, like, if you're close, they come out right at you. So we're going to go and grab the bouncy wall here, which is going to be a huge help. And then we will grab the health again on it, just to kind of really stack it up. Now, you'll see here, this is what I'm talking about Guju being invincible. You're going to see a little red blob, nothing at all, but watch how many times it looks like this actual owl gets some hits on me. And it's like, I'm not really even taking anything at all. Yes, I'm dodging a lot of those big ones, but like right there, just blasting through me, pushing aside, that health bar isn't changing. I don't know if that was just I was grabbing health at the same time them hit me, but it just really seems like I'm just taking all the hits in the world, and it's just not even phasing me. So all good things to know of if you haven't played Guju yet, why you should be trying him. He's working for me He's got good attack. I mean, the stats are really nice. And like I said, the shards are easy to get. But you've played this owl before. I think we've got him in 20. And then I think we played him again in, what was it, maybe like 27 or something like that. Or maybe it was 18 and 22. We should have played him twice already. I can't remember the chapters. I'm not that smart. So got some coins here, and we're going to skip the ad, of course, because we don't want to watch that. And then from here, it's just kind of going back in and doing the same things. Not really a lot of good choices, so we'll take the Strong Heart. I really didn't want to have the Meteor just kind of clogging up the screen and just dealing with more noise on there, because not only does it, make it messy looking, but it can kind of overcrowd the screen a little bit and make it to a point where the game starts glitching out. These bombs, nothing to worry about in my opinion, and you can see how the actual wingman is just tanking a whole bunch. But these guys, I freaking hate these mages. They've always been a pain, but I feel like I've got them down a pretty good amount by now. I face them enough to know, okay, if you step away from them and you make a good big step, they're not going to be a chance of hitting you. I'd probably say now I actually have more trouble with the bats. The laser bats, how long have they been around for? And, that seems more difficult than the laser mage. A little confusing, but that's just the way it seems to be. As far as the Expos, nothing crazy at all. I mean, they're just tanky. You know how to get around those. When you do get it a little bit overstacked, if you don't have the attack damage like I do in this, with the killing all these waves, if you do get a bunch of those things on there, then yeah, 8 of those Expos, they could really screw you up. So if you do need to prioritize 1 or 2 of them, try to get rid of the ones on your side so you at least have a little bit of movement space, because they are a big block that's there. And you can see the archers, another huge pain. I don't even know what was going on here. It just seemed like I was either killing them too fast, getting the health, and they were hitting me, or I'm just, like I said, invincible on it. So we drop all those guys, and then we will go in. We've maxed out our abilities, and look at that. Our rage pops back up for us, so we're going to grab that just to be safe. Even though we have been kind of running full hit points, more hit points right there, if we do get down to the point where we're, down to a smidgen of health, it'll be nice to have that, increased damage. The sharks, forgot about them. They were a surprise to see. Just kind of stick to the wall if you can. Make big swipes on those, because that's going to be kind of like the mushrooms there, that roll at you. They're going to go and shoot their things. It's going to hit the wall, and it's going to split off into 2. The final boss in this, though, is one of those sharks, and, I did take some good hits on it. He did screw me up, but obviously we beat him. Otherwise, we wouldn't be making this video right now on it. These totems, nothing to worry about. Little blue orbs, yes, those are difficult to see. But you kind of see the going thing here. I mean, you've seen the other staff videos. It's the staff. It's the multi-shot. Did we grab Ricochet? Yeah, we got Ricochet too, didn't we? It's all about having those right abilities and just that perfect run. Now, I do feel like I was actually playing a lot better than I typically do this day. I don't know if I just was in that kind of focused mode for it, but it really seemed like I was kind of just on point. I wasn't making a lot of stupid decisions, and, I've mentioned it before where, you're driving in the snow, your car loses control, and the way they say the mind works is if you're floating or drifting into another car, if you look at that car, you're going to end up running into that car. So they always say to look away from the car, look for the open space, and you naturally go for that. I find a lot of times that if I'm looking at those little white balls floating down the screen, I'm going to walk right into the darn thing, and it drives me crazy every time. So I think I did a good job at dodging those. Now, as far as the bosses here, we do have the blue ice mage. He's not really too much of trouble, but the actual ice, I don't know what you call it, ice spider, scorpion spider, bouncy dude. I know there's a name for him, I just can't think of it. He's probably the more concern, but luckily there is some distance on this. You can see this is probably the first time I'm really taking some good smacks inside the game, and we're just trying to kind of move and stay away from those little bouncy ones there. But still, with the staff diagonal and having that line ring on, we do drop them pretty quick, and we are getting our health back on it. Now, I really want to know if this happens to anybody else, because on a wave board, getting past that third boss, or on a chapter, 50 stages, getting past that stage 40 of it, I start to kind of panic a little bit. Like, oh geez, we're getting pretty close. We're going to end up getting the final boss, Is this going to be where I die? Is this where it's going to be like, everything just goes south for me? So I usually end up popping ults right away in fear that I'm going to do something incredibly stupid and start taking the hits. But luckily, this didn't seem to happen on it. I kept my cool. Like I said, I was having a good day of playing the game. Let's just put it at that. I usually say I got really lucky, but I don't think the nerves were kicking in too much on this, and I think I was just kind of able to handle myself. The biggest thing with these wave boards is just not letting too many mobs get on the screen. You obviously know what that's going to end up doing to you. You're just going to get swamped, you're not going to have where to run, and you're going to get killed. But this one just didn't really seem to be too bad. It seemed like they just kind of threw more tankiness out, and luckily with the set we had, they just kind of went down nice and easy. Although, I gotta say, you know, that's a bad spot right there to have one of those totems. It just seemed like it just couldn't really get to it, and then I had all those guys pop up underneath me, which I'm gonna start running, which is not good because I'm kind of getting out of my safety net there, as I probably call it. But we're just gonna keep on going through, dropping them, and I don't know if this is happening by too. Do you guys ever play a wave board, and it seems like you're on that final wave and another one pops up? I'm constantly always playing, and I'm never really paying attention to how many waves are left. I kind of just count in my head of what it seems, and it's like, hang on a second, did we just get a 7th wave? But I think that's just me losing my mind at the old age that I am. We're just grinding through this, and now there's that one down. So no more abilities, unfortunately. I really wish, the game just would let you just get endless abilities as you went through and filled the bar. I hate that there's a cap on it. I think that could be a lot of fun, just kind of like endless mode there, just keep on getting things. The game will probably glitch out eventually on us. But same thing as I was saying before, we went in, we just started popping it and just kind of going through and just ruining these guys. So nothing out of the ordinary. I think we've seen just about every enemy that we've faced so far on it. So this is more just how fast can we kill them, get them off the screen, and just kind of keep it simple. Keep it to a point where we're not getting overwhelmed. But I think at this point I kind of knew, okay, guys are dropping fast, we got the abilities, this could be it. Don't die on the final boss. I think it was a chapter I was playing right before this where I finally killed, the main final dragon boss, and then there was still that archer, and I'm just like, what are the odds that I'm going to kill the final boss and then we're just going to lose to the mob that's right behind him? And I didn't know if this was going to be a double boss we're going to be going up against or what the case, but like I said, it is the shark. I didn't know what the abilities were going to be. I don't really remember if it is the same as the other ones. I think we played the shark on another water board at some point. I think that might have been maybe 22 or 23. At any rate, he did do this thing where, kind of like the dragon does with the lightning rows, it's 6 rows of lightning that shoot down, and there's that one open gap. Well, he does the thing where he's going to shoot down a whole bunch of tridents at you or spears, and there's that one open gap. And I wasn't expecting that, and I got hit by those things, and it definitely hurt. So you'll see it here in a second. So we're going to go in. The other thing to keep in mind is he is going to spawn some golems there. Thank God for that invincibility bracelet, man. I'm loving that. The extra attack on it, and then the actual, go in a room and just dodging that first hit. But you saw me there, invincible Guju once again. Those are those actual spears that I got hit by. But that's the only thing I'm not too crazy about this guy is it seems like those spawns, those come up. When he shoots out those 5 arrows out there, or those 5 spears, it seems like that one is always going to try to hit you. As long as you stick to the wall like I'm doing, it seems like we can dodge those other spears. So that's probably about it. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget, subscribe, join the Discord, and remember, I pick my butt.